Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited to bring you a whole new Planet Coaster 2 speed build today. I had the honor to be invited to a preview event from Frontier to try out Planet Coaster 2. As you heard in the first video, we started out with some campaign, and that was basically something I went through very quick so we could get into Sandbox and check out the game. So today I am building a slide attraction where we try out mythological theme and checking out some of the other pieces that we are having in the game. So let's check it out and let's see what we can build. So as I mentioned, and also as you guys know, we had not the longest time to be in this game. So unfortunately, we only had like 40 minutes in Sandbox after I kind of completed the campaign. But I wanted to try out the coasters today. I wanted to try out the slides today because I felt like that was kind of like the big player of Planet Coaster 2. And I was also very curious to see how nicely you can integrate them into your theming. And I'm pretty much just doing some pathing work here with the new tool. And as you can see, it kind of works very well, and you can get stuff done in a matter of minutes by using the new pathing tool here. Of course, it takes a few minutes or two or a few tries to figuring it out and get it to work perfectly, as you can see. But my main goal here today was mainly just to make something that looked nice and representable to do a little video of. So I was just improvising and just had in mind of the previous water parks I have been to. The latest one I've been to is Adventure Island here in Tampa. So I wanted to incorporate something with 3 slides and just see what I could build of the new pieces that we are having here in the game. So we have mythological and we have Viking, we have the Sunny Resort, the OG Planet Coaster, and I wanted to just trying out stuff, see what works, and also look into this whole scaling thing. So as you can see here now, basically what I'm doing is just plopping in a few blueprints right away to get the park started. You can see we have this with the whole system with the power facility, and I kind of already did the first slide here, which I kind of tested and kind of like got through. So basically I have to build a changing room first, which you guys saw me do, and after that I can kind of like get the guests to interact with the flume right here. I didn't make some crazy ones. I just, as I said, I was in a need of time to get this done. So it was basically what was fastest and the more like efficient way for me, I would say so. So as I say, we're doing the mythological theme where we mix up a few Viking pieces, nothing too much. But in general, this whole thing I'm doing is turned out pretty nicely, and I just wanted to build a little small miniature temple on the rock here, and then afterwards we build a nice little station for the flumes. So again, I do not know any of these pieces, so all of it is pretty much just done in a hurry. I didn't have a lot of time to rethink the uses of pieces. So basically that is just what kind of happened is you just go with it and just try to make it look nice and presentable. So what I can tell about the scaling situation is that a lot of the pieces that are not on grid are basically the pieces you can scale. You can scale them pretty big and also pretty small. Like you can maybe use 4 or 5 rocks to make a mountain, and that's pretty neat if you are not the person that want a terrain and stuff like that. So the rocks really adds a lot of depth to your builds when you can do that. And I'm kind of using the scaling on some objects, as you can see here in the video. Basically just did it on the pillars, and then I do it later on for a little bit of clutter and some more pillars. And the rocks here, I can tell you, are different from the Planet Zoo ones. These are actually some new ones, and I think that's because of the scaling. So they kind of like had to get a new texture, and but it works very well, honestly. And as soon as I kind of like get into this and I add more and more, I kind of like get a little bit, I get a little bit into the groove. So whatever I had left, I just had to power through and kind of like get something done here. So what I did was, instead of being too overwhelmed with all these new pieces, I went in and I sorted out. So I only had the mythological pieces to work with, And that's kind of like what you see me work with here. I'm doing a little fencing around this little nice temple balcony. I unfortunately forget to add a door to the build, but that is not something that is gonna make it look less, but it was just a nice little extra feature that I knew I could have added on. But again, we were in a time demand here, so whatever I could go with was kind of like just that. So I'm using a different type of roof on the station platform for the slides here. And as they said in the deep dive a few weeks back, is that you make one stair that goes up to these slide here, and you can have like 4 or 5, maybe even more slides up here, but you will only and always have one entrance. So I would maybe recommend from further on to, if you want to have and build multiple stations, you'll add one flume on each platform instead of adding 4 or 5, because the queue is also for these 3, so it can get quite packed quite fast. But yeah, as you can see, we're kind of like adding some nice things here. I didn't want to have it too open, so I was trying to see, as I said in the start, I wanted to see how much you can integrate and how much you can actually make it look nice with all these new pieces that we can kind of put into our builds now. And I can only tell that this is amazing, and I'm super excited to really get into this game and get to know all these pieces here, because we are getting spoiled, especially with the Viking and the mythological. So as you can see here, we're doing some foliage. Again, this is also scaling objects. As you can see, I'm kind of like playing around with them, using the same sort of trees, but just scaling them so we get some smaller and some bigger ones. And everything in itself just becomes way better when we have the rocks, we have the foliage. And as you can see here now, I was not really feeling the triangular roof here. I felt like it was a little bit too much, so I wanted to add in some trim pieces and just kind of like work it out. So as you can see, again, just pretty much taking whatever piece I feel like works for this for now, and then afterwards just kind of adding smaller details to it afterwards. So this is a fun little part here too. We got the Poseidon statue, and we actually have a few parts for it, which is really nice. And you can also scale all these objects for yourself, which is quite nice. So you can make a big Poseidon statue, you can make a small one, and you even have different attachments to him as well. So you can kind of make him look different. Here now, again, he is pointing somewhere. I guess there's a party going on over there or something. But it's just fine, because it is what it is, and it kind of looks nice having him standing on the rock there with all the flumes and the slice coming down. As you can see, again, adding a little bit of a brazier here, some lights. I didn't really get to check out the nighttime as much, but hopefully we will get to that in another video when we get further over to release date. But yeah, again, adding some more mythological pieces here, which is kind of like this little column. And as you can see, I started making it smaller compared to what it started with being. It was quite big in the start. So you can see some of these pieces can be used in so many different ways, depending on what measurement you put it down to in the scaling. And for a lot of us builders, I think this scaling is gonna be an absolute game changer for how we build and on how we kind of put things together and how we use pieces. Like, every piece now is so versatile because we can use the scaling. And it just tells in this little build I'm doing here today. And as I said, the gridded pieces, as you can see here using, they are not scaled or cannot be scaled, which kind of makes sense because of they have to like follow a grid. So if you kind of like make them smaller, the grid kind of disappears or messes up. So in some sense or not, it kind of makes good sense that they didn't have that there. But the foliage itself as well is top notch. I even think, of course, we have some duplicates from Planet Zoo, but just in a better format. And everything itself is just spot on. Like, I cannot wait, as I say, to really get into this game and start our new projects and etc. And I actually had a lot of fun building this flume little slide attraction here, because the way you can put it together and kind of like mix the scenery together and make it a nicer overlook really is nice. And I remember we have a little meme and joke about barrels, but barrels are in the game from startup, so I know a few people, including myself, are very happy for that. We don't want to do a Planet Zoo situation here. So I mentioned this quite quick in the video I posted earlier. This is the custom font, where we had tons of fonts compared to Planet Coaster 1. We had 4 to choose from, and here we actually have over 10, and they're all like a good variation, and it will do so much better for your parks and your font and all those like custom fonts you have to do all the time. And like, we were blessed with the Mega Toolkit in Planet Coaster 1 because a lot of people made font at the time, but now we can pretty much just add our own, which is a lot better than previous. So I'm super happy for that. So again, I'm just kind of like playing around here for a little bit in the middle of the pool here, just to see what else we can do, because I wanted to have a little something here. So again, just trying out some stuff. Didn't go with this, but this is a very cool windmill in the Viking theme that you can kind of like, there are different attachments, so you can kind of complete it fully, and you can also scale those. So yeah, I found this little Pegasus statue here that I put a little jet water in here, which is kind of fun. And then I basically just used the brush for the scenery to add a little bit of stuff around it. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've done today in this speed build, guys. It was really fun to work it out and try some new stuff and just see some new pieces for a change. And I cannot wait for all of us to get our hands in this. And yeah, just basically adding a little wall here with some foliage and some doors, and we're kind of like finishing off now. The last part that I am showing you here at the end is obviously the build, but then a quick show of how the first person camera looks like. It's kind of like Touch It Cam, but just way more optimized. And I feel like you're way closer to things, and there's a little bit more of a better zoom optimization on it as well. And everything is just awesome. So here you have the build, friends. I hope you liked it. This is Poseidon's Wrath, and just a little bit of stuff that I did here. And yeah, that's all, folks, pretty much. The pool is cramped, but we did it. And yeah, I'm super pleased. And just a little coaster I placed down because I wanted kind of to see how it looked in the distance of this little pool area. So yeah. But if you haven't seen the other video, go check it out, guys. It's linked right now here after. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.